In a world of many tongues and traditions, communication becomes our bridge. Here, a half Filipino and half Chinese shares how two cultures meet, not in differences, but in understanding.
He was born between two worlds, Filipino and Chinese. In his home, two cultures met and shaped the person he would become. Growing up, he learned that being mixed is not about choosing identity over the other. It's about learning to balance both, to understand, and to communicate with an open heart. There were moments when people saw him as different, expecting him to act or speak in a certain way.
But instead of feeling divided, he embraced his identity even more, showing that understanding goes beyond appearance. Through every interaction, he learned that communication becomes meaningful when it is guided by empathy and respect. Now, as a nursing student, he carries this lesson wherever he goes. His story is not just about culture. It's about connection, understanding, and the beauty of communication between two worlds. His life is proof that communication can unite even the most different worlds. Now, let's hear his voice and his story.
Good afternoon, Gerson. So this is the first question. What are some common misconceptions people have about you because you are half Chinese?
Some people think that because I'm half Chinese, I must be strict, serious, or very business-minded. Others assume I'm fluent in Chinese or automatically good at math. But the truth is, I grew up here in the Philippines, surrounded by Filipino culture. My personality and habits are shaped more by Filipino warmth than by stereotypes about being Chinese.
Do people expect you to act or speak in a certain way?
Yes. Sometimes people expect me to speak Chinese or act more reserved. But I usually speak and express myself like any Filipino. I think people are just curious, but I always try to show them that identity isn't about how you look or speak. It's about how you treat others.
What do you wish Filipinos understood better about people with mixed backgrounds?
I wish they understood that being mixed doesn't mean being confused. It means carrying two stories, two sets of values, and learning to balance them. We can be proud of both sides and at the same time still belong fully to the Filipino community.
Growing up surrounded by Filipino culture, how does your Chinese background influence the way you communicate with others?
My Chinese background taught me discipline, respect for elders, and humility in words and actions. On the other hand, my Filipino upbringing taught me openness, joy, and friendliness. So when I communicate, I try to blend both being respectful and calm, but also approachable and sincere.
Do you notice any difference in how you express respect or emotions compared to your Filipino friends?
Yes, a little. I tend to show emotions in a quieter, more reserved way, while my Filipino friends are very expressive and affectionate. But that differences has helped me appreciate how beautiful it is to mix both, showing respect like a Chinese but sharing warmth like a Filipino.
Do you think being half Chinese has made it easier or harder for you to connect with others here in the Philippines?
It has made things both easier and more meaningful. Easier because Filipinos are naturally welcoming and open to diversity. But sometimes it's also challenging. Some people see me as different at first. Still, over time I realized that connection doesn't depend on where you come from, but how you relate to others with kindness and respect.
What did those experiences teach you about communication between cultures?
They taught me that communication is not just about language. It's about understanding and empathy. Every culture has its own rhythm and expression, but once you listen with your heart, you'll always find common ground. Being half Chinese and half Filipino made me see that differences are not barriers, they're bridges that help us grow closer together.
This interview made us realize that intercultural communication is more than just language. It's about seeing people beyond stereotypes and understanding who they truly are.
Reminded us that identity is not defined by how we look or we speak, but by our values and how we treat others. Even if he's half Chinese, his heart remains proudly Filipino.
He showed that being mixed is not confusion, it is connection. Carrying two cultures means learning discipline from one and warmth from the other, creating balance and harmony in communication.
In the end, this interview reminded us that intercultural communication is the language of unity. In a diverse world, understanding will always be the strongest way to connect.
I know these will all be stories someday, and our pictures will become old photographs. But right now, these moments are not stories. This is happening. I can see it.